Ladies and gentlemen, hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. A little while back, we saw one of the largest changes in Warzone history take place for core battle royale. Also just before that in Vanguard Royale, where they actually increased the core health of the game up from 250 to 300, which basically changes a large part of the meta. Obviously, every single gun requires an extra like 2 to 4 shots to kill. Certain weapons became incredibly good, other weapons became pretty much obsolete. And now it seems like at some point here in the near future, we're going to see a similar change happen to Rebirth Island to make Warzone more of this holistic, everything is connected, everything is the same style of gameplay experience. And that said, today we're breaking down what this means for Rebirth's future, what this means for the gameplay, the meta, everything. As we go through it all, if you enjoy the video at any point, let me know by dropping a like on it, would be seriously appreciated. And if you're new here or if you have not already subscribed, every single day I got you covered with all things going on in COD, so feel free to subscribe with those notifications turned on. And also right now, all throughout the weekend, my G Fuel discount code WhosImmortal is boosted to get you 30% off your entire orders, so now is quite literally the best time to try something new, restock on your current favorites, anything like that. Code WhosImmortal has you covered. Link for that will be down in the description below. So the future of Rebirth is definitely very different than what it is right now. We know for sure we have other updates coming with the mid-season patch. We'll talk about those in just a minute, but the main focus is this potential health update. We've been wondering for a while, really ever since the health update was added into core battle royale, if it's something that we would see across battle royale and Rebirth simultaneously, and it does appear like that time is coming at some point here in the near future. Back prior to season 3 launching, when I was able to sit in with a call with Raven Software, they did actually very briefly mention that they are looking to eventually change the health on Rebirth up to 300, just so that your experience is the exact same regardless of what map you're playing, as far as what weapons are the go-tos, what you have to expect in a gunfight. I mean, just personally jumping back and forth from Rebirth to Caldera, there are times when I stop shooting at an enemy on Caldera because like I just got off a Rebirth game, I felt like I was frying, and then I get those extra 3 to 4 shots on an enemy. I'm like, oh, I stopped shooting before he was dead. Or I jump over to Rebirth after playing Caldera, and it's like, wow, I feel like I'm frying. Oh wait, every gun kills, you know, this much quicker on this map instead. But that consistency is something they are striving for. The devs did briefly mention that, you know, we'll probably run another poll like we did prior to changing the health on Caldera, just to make sure everyone in the community, or at least the vast majority of the community, I should say, is wanting to see this change happen. And then they'll go from there. But the health update on Rebirth, increasing it from 250 to 300, does drastically change everything. Off spawn, those pistols are not going to be nearly as consistent. There's no more Diamante spawn pistols, so, you know, frying everybody right off the rip without having to worry about finding a decent ground loot weapon is going to change quite a bit. The general metas between Caldera and Rebirth are going to become a lot more similar. Obviously Rebirth, because so much more is close range based, every gunfight's, you know, a lot more 0 to 40 meters instead of 0 to 160, 200 meters on Caldera. Certain weapons are still going to be able to thrive on Rebirth, but also several weapons that were knocked out of the meta on Caldera are also going to be knocked out of the meta on Rebirth as well. Things that have smaller magazines like the Odin, the Scar, you know, the Uzi, for instance, weapons that you could probably get by with using on Rebirth right now, especially for solos, duos, become a whole lot more obsolete once that health update takes place. I mean, we've talked about it quite a bit in the past, and you can clearly see it in the various loadout videos that we post here on the channel. On Caldera, there's a semi-specific and semi-defined meta. Obviously, in Warzone in general, the broad overview, I think this meta is in a very healthy place. There are, you know, 40 to 50 plus weapons that are either meta or competitive. They can all compete with one another. But on Caldera, it is a little bit more defined because the health increase and because only certain weapons have really, really great TTKs in certain areas. Whereas on Rebirth, just because it is a little bit easier to get kills with a lot more weapons, the meta is even more defined and more open. You can get by with using a lot more off meta builds on Rebirth versus Caldera simply because of the health difference in and of itself. But once we do see that update take place, that's when things become a lot more defined and a lot more competitive in a smaller niche of what really can you use and get by with using, because off meta weapons do suffer quite a bit when it takes 3 to 4 extra shots to kill when they're already probably not top TTK options, hence why they're off meta in the first place. So that's one of the gameplay updates for Rebirth that we can expect will drastically change things at some point here in the near future. We're not sure on an exact time frame for this. Like I said, it wasn't really a big focus in that call with Raven. They mentioned it, but it wasn't like a major talking point. It was very much so in passing because there were more, I guess, upfront things, you could say, things that were going to be happening before this. So it is on the horizon. We just don't know exactly when. For what it's worth, though, this video is going to be recorded several days in advance. It's very possible Raven puts up that poll in between the time that I'm recording this and when it actually goes live on YouTube and I publish it. So I guess there's that realm of possibility as well. Now, moving on from just the health update for Rebirth, there is actually a confirmed gameplay change that we have coming up here in the near future, and that is related to lootable perks. Obviously, with the launch of Season 3, we saw this as a feature implemented into Caldera, and honestly, I think it's super cool because not only is it sort of like a build your own specialist as the game goes on, it also gives more meaning to early game looting while you're waiting for that loadout to drop in, but also post loadout looting as well. If you're always running, you know, restock or overkill on your loadout and you have the chance to get high alert, you have the chance to get battle hardened, this, that, or whatever else, it does give you more of an incentive to go out and loot. I also love the fact that early game, I can happen to get restock right away, or I can get high alert right away or tempered right away. I don't have to worry about that later on in the game unless, of course, I end up dying and going to the gulag and coming back. To me, it just makes gameplay a lot more dynamic and a lot more fun, especially early game, especially just after you grab that first loadout. You might want to continue looking for a few perks. However, obviously that's only on Caldera. It is soon to be added to Rebirth, though they did confirm it would be coming to Rebirth Island gameplay at a later date, and it brings those same dynamics over to the island. Yeah, you're going to get your loadout pretty soon, but if you can double up on perks right off the rip and get battle hardened and get tempered and restock and stack them all on top of each other, then grab your overkill loadout, like you're kind of set off the rip, and suddenly you can feel a lot more aggressive in game. And that also changes up how you might want to approach building loadouts for Rebirth, knowing that you have the chance of getting certain perks out of chests. I think it's a super cool element that was added in with this seasonal update, and I think it's going to be a really good benefit for Rebirth gameplay as well, because so far it's proven to be very beneficial for Caldera. But just in general, once this is all said and done and we do have lootable perks on Rebirth and we do have increased health on Rebirth, the gameplay dynamic on this map is going to shift quite a bit. How you want to build things, what weapons you can actually use and what weapons you want to use, it all definitely pushes towards a more fresh gameplay style, which personally I'm all for, but I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this down in the comments below. You're looking forward to seeing that health increase, maybe not because your off meta weapon that you love to run is probably not going to be that good anymore. Do you think lootable perks are going to be a big difference maker in gameplay as well? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. But that said, that is going to wrap things up for today. If you enjoyed the video, let me know by dropping a like on it. And if you're new to the channel or if you have not already subscribed, every day I got you covered with all things going on in Call of Duty. So feel free to hit that sub button and turn on those post notifications. And as always, if you want to check out any of my partners, be sure to use code WhosImmortal for a discount on all Scuff, G Fuel, Gamer Advantage, and Control Freak products. The links for all those can be found down in the description below. But once again, thank you so much for tuning in, and until next time, take it easy, have an awesome rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out.